I want you to imagine this for a second. The cameras are rolling. The lights are hot. The producers are smiling because they think they've got another dramatic scene in the bag. And then something happens that feels so wrong, so uncomfortable, that even the people behind the cameras stop breathing. Not because it's good TV, but because it feels like watching a real human break in real time. That's when 90 Day Fiancé crossed a line that it never fully came back from. And the scary part is, most of us didn't realize it until it was already too late. Because we didn't tune in for darkness. We tuned in for messy love stories, awkward cultural clashes, the chaos of two people trying to make something work under insane pressure. We laughed. We cringed. We yelled at our screens. But somewhere along the way, the laughter faded. The cringe turned into concern. And suddenly, what we were watching didn't feel like entertainment anymore. It felt like something we weren't supposed to see. I know what you're thinking already. It's reality TV. They signed up for this. Trust me, I used to say that too. I used to brush it off, scroll through the comments, roll my eyes at people calling it too much. But then I went back. I rewatched certain moments with fresh eyes. And this time, I couldn't unsee it. This wasn't just drama. This went too far. Before we get deep into this, let me say this straight up. I've been reading your comments. A lot of you don't trust celebrity news anymore. You think everything is exaggerated, scripted, blown out of proportion for clicks. And honestly, I get it. I feel that way too sometimes. But what I'm about to share with you isn't gossip. It's a pattern of moments that left people shaken, uncomfortable, and in some cases, genuinely worried for someone's safety. If you're here because you love this show but also feel weird about some of what you've seen, you're not alone. And if you want more real conversations like this, the kind that don't sugarcoat things, hit subscribe. Not because I'm asking you to, but because we're clearly watching these shows together, and we might as well talk honestly about what they're really showing us. Let's rewind to how all of this started. 90 Day Fiancé didn't begin as a nightmare. It began with hope, with awkward smiles at airports, with broken English, nervous laughter, and people believing love could beat distance, culture, and time. These were not celebrities. These were regular people, truck drivers, single moms, shy introverts, people who had been lonely for a long time. For many of them, this show wasn't about fame. It was about being seen, being chosen, being loved. Some of them came from broken homes. Some escaped poverty. Some had been cheated on, abandoned, or ignored their whole lives. When they met someone online who made them feel special, it felt like a miracle. And when TLC offered cameras and a paycheck, it probably felt like validation. Like, see, our love matters. But here's the part nobody was ready for. Once the cameras are there, love is no longer private. Pain is no longer personal. Every tear becomes content. Every fight becomes a storyline. And the messier it gets, the more valuable it becomes. One of the darkest shifts happened when arguments stopped being uncomfortable and started becoming explosive. Yelling wasn't enough anymore. Tears weren't enough. Producers needed something bigger, louder, more shocking. And slowly, without us noticing, emotional boundaries started disappearing. You could see it in the eyes of certain cast members. The way their voices shook. The way they looked off camera, like they were begging someone to step in. There were moments where one partner would insult the other so deeply, so personally, that it stopped feeling like a fight and started feeling like emotional destruction. And the cameras didn't cut away. They zoomed in. I remember one scene that still sits heavy in my chest. A cast member breaking down, saying they felt trapped, scared, humiliated. And instead of comfort, they were met with cold stares and sharper words. The other partner knew exactly where to hit. Their insecurities, their immigration status, their money, their family. It was psychological warfare, and we watched it like it was just another Tuesday night episode. Social media exploded after moments like that. TikTok clips with millions of views. People stitching the videos, pausing, pointing at the screen saying, "This isn't okay." On X, people were tweeting things like, "Why is no one stepping in?" And, "This feels like abuse, not drama." On Instagram, comment sections turned into war zones. Half the people saying, they deserve it, they're adults, and the other half saying, this is hard to watch, I feel sick. Reddit threads went even deeper. Long posts analyzing body language, power dynamics, moments where someone clearly shut down emotionally. And that was just layer 1. The surface level chaos. The second layer came when former cast members started speaking out. Not loudly at first, just hints. Comments like, you didn't see everything, or, what happened off camera was worse. That's when the tone shifted. Because now it wasn't just what we saw. It was what we didn't see. Some talked about producers encouraging them to stay in toxic situations longer. About being told, just one more conversation, even when they were emotionally exhausted. About being reminded of contracts when they wanted to walk away. Imagine being in a foreign country, with no family around, dependent on someone who is hurting you, and being told that leaving would ruin everything. That's not drama, that's fear. I know what you're thinking, but wait until you hear this. The third layer is where it gets really uncomfortable. Because this is where humiliation became entertainment. Private moments that should never have been aired were turned into plot points. Sexual insecurities, medical issues, trauma from past relationships, things people trusted their partners with in quiet moments, suddenly blasted on national television. You could see the shame. The way someone's face changed when they realized what was being discussed on camera. The forced laughter, the defensive jokes, that hollow look when someone feels exposed in a way they never agreed to. And again, no one stopped it. Because the ratings were good, fans started to notice patterns. Certain cast members were always portrayed as villains, others as helpless victims. Nuance disappeared, editing sharpened personalities into weapons. And once the internet picked a side, it was over. Death threats, racist comments, harassment, people losing jobs because of how they were portrayed, their families dragged into it, their kids seeing clips they should never have to see. That brings us to the fourth layer, the aftermath. Because the show ends, but the damage doesn't. Some cast members fell into depression. Some disappeared from social media completely. Others tried to lean into the fame, pretending it didn't hurt, posting selfies while clearly unraveling behind the scenes. There were arrests, restraining orders, public breakdowns, moments where fans stopped laughing and started asking, are they okay? And then there's the final layer. The one that still gives me chills. The realization that we were part of it. That every view, every comment, every share told the network, yes, more of this. We didn't mean harm. We just wanted to be entertained. But entertainment built on real pain doesn't disappear when the episode ends. There was one moment, late at night, scrolling through comments, where I saw someone write, I used to love this show, but now it feels like watching someone drown slowly. That comment stuck with me. Because that's exactly what it feels like. Watching people pushed past their limits for the sake of shock value. So let me ask you this. At what point does drama stop being fun? At what point does reality TV stop reflecting reality and start creating trauma? Would you want your worst fight, your deepest insecurity, your lowest moment turned into a meme? I'm not saying the show should disappear. I'm not saying everyone involved is innocent. People make bad choices. They hurt each other. That's real life. But there's a difference between showing reality and exploiting it. And 90 Day Fiancé crossed that line more times than we're comfortable admitting. Maybe that's why these moments linger with us. Why certain scenes make us feel uneasy long after the episode ends. Because deep down, we know we weren't ready for this level of darkness. And maybe we were never supposed to be. So the next time a clip pops up on your feed and you feel that knot in your stomach, listen to it. That feeling isn't boredom. It isn't overreaction. It's empathy. And it's reminding us that behind every shocking moment, there's a real person who has to live with it when the cameras are gone.